part of our country. Billy?
This is where these floods are taking place.
You sure, will you point exactly to the Missouri River, Billy?
This is the Missouri River.
You're not getting it exactly. I wonder if you could help out John, will you? A little higher.
This is the Missouri River.
How many agree? Yeah, that's better. We've learned that many people are homeless because of this condition. Go ahead, Joy.
Does anyone have state news? Will all those children please come up? Connie?
I brought this item in about the city
Can I help you, Connie? Contributing. Contributing.
They got $4,000 and 3,290
Connie, can I help you?
thousand was given to Mayor Robinson, and he's going they're going to make a dam.
Let me see the
in
amount,
Sierra
Connie.
Nevada.
Who'd like to tell us what this word contributing means? Will you tell us, Ashley?
It means you're giving something.
Yes, this money was given by the United States government to San Francisco, and it's a much bigger amount of money than was just read. I wonder who can read this number correctly. Will you try it, Susan?
$3,290,000.
Yes, that money is going to be used to build a dam in the Sierra called the Cherry River Dam.
Stephen?
I brought in this item about linked tooth decay to food. Past presidents of the California State Dental Association breakfast together at the Fairmount Hotel before attending the sessions of an annual meeting.
Well, what does this mean? Can you tell us? The dentists think that our teeth get decayed spots in them because of the foods that we eat. They are discussing this at their meeting.
Tom?
Next Sunday, daylight savings time will start.
Does anyone have local news? Will all those children please come up? Diane?
I think this is the same item as Connie brought, only it has more to it.
Yes, well, we won't take that again then. Thank you. It is local news, not state, as she said.
On television, I saw that these children, they came in here, and this man, he showed them, he held the children to take out their teeth, and they had real bad, they had accidents, and things happened to them. And then after, there was a girl that showed us how to brush, the man showed us how to brush your teeth.
How should you brush your teeth, Susan?
On
Basic class.
the top you brush down, on the bottom you brush up, and on the here you just brush down.
Good. I think that's all. Thank you, Joyce. Would you like to suggest an item with which we could begin to write our paper this morning? John?
I think we should use the item about the atomic bomb.
How many agree? Fine. Has someone a sentence which would go with this item? Pat?
Yesterday, they dropped an atomic bomb.
Yes. Has someone else a suggestion? Peggy?
Yesterday in Yucca Flat, Nevada, the atom
I think it was an improvement.
You've been looking, ladies and gentlemen, at the 4th grade classroom at the Ulloa School, located at 42nd Avenue in Vicente in San Francisco. This is Miss LeDuc's classroom. The principal is Miss Kepi, and today you saw how the daily news is put together in the form of a newspaper right here in the classroom, the entire efforts being put forward by the students themselves. We'll see you again next week on Teletrips. Good night.
What else shall we use for our newspaper?
This is the corner of Post and Grant in San Francisco. We have brought Teletrips here to ask anyone we can the question, what do you consider today's most important problem? That's an overwhelming question to ask, naturally. We're going to talk to anyone we can. At the flower stand right here, a lady has just been in the process of purchasing some flowers. What did you buy?
Oh, I'll have to ask the flower man. I really don't even know the name. Could I have 2 nickels?
Who are you?
Mrs. Devlin, Mrs. William Devlin.
Uh-huh. You like flowers, obviously.
Oh, yes, I do.
Fine. Could you come on up close here as soon as you get your flowers? I want people to get a good look at you. And we want to ask you the powerful question, what do you think is the most important problem affecting us today?
Well, I would say the war in
The
Korea.
Korean War?
Yes.
Why do you feel that that's the most important thing?
Well, surely it must be on everybody's mind.
Yes, but specifically, that is, how does it affect you or your family and so forth?
Well, myself and family, we don't have anybody in the service that it affects us that way, but the very fact that the whole world is disturbed by this, and naturally I think it's affecting our standard of living here in the United States.
Which is naturally affecting you directly.
Yes.
Really.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think that's pretty concise. You've explained it as the Korean War, and in your opinion, that's the most important problem today affecting us.
I feel it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what we wanted to hear. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Well, that's her opinion. May we talk to you a moment, madam? Huh? Are you frightened of us?
A little bit.
Well, we won't do anything. Just want to ask you your name.
Helen Forrest.
And we want to that's the name of a famous singer, is it
Yes,
not?
it is.
Any relation to you?
No.
Uh-huh. We want to ask you what you think is the most important problem affecting us today, in your opinion.
International, I think.
Well, any
The
particular...
tension.
The
The,
international tension?
Tension, I believe.
The war tension, you
Yes.
mean, what, the Korean War?
Yes,
Or the...
and the dangers of other wars starting.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that you have felt that right now? I mean, or
Oh,
are
no,
feeling it at
I've
the
been
moment?
feeling that for a long time.
Mm-hmm. That's what we wanted to hear. Thank you very much for talking
You're
to us.
welcome.
The obvious man right here at the corner is the man that runs the flower stand. Hi, who are you?
Gene Camosi.
Come on up here, Gene. Did you hear the question we addressed to the young lady?
I got part of it, sir.
It was, what, in your opinion, is the most important problem facing us today? And you face the television screen so people can look at you.
I think it's the Korean War.
The Korean, why do you specifically point to that?
Well, I think everything is in a turmoil. People don't know just what to do. I mean, since they had a touch of the last war. People are skeptical. I mean, they don't want to make one move and think it's the wrong move. They're just standing pat.
They still buy flowers?
Oh, yes, definitely.
How long have you been at the stand here at Post and Grant?
Well, about 20 years.
20 years. You don't look much over 20 yourself.
Thank you, sir.
How old are you, if I may be so
38,
bold?
sir.
38? Well, you started as a young man then?
Yes. Well, my dad's been here for 41 years, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell me about the flower business, since that's a typical San Francisco scene. Is it something that's unique or what?
Well, to me, I think it's a landmark of San Francisco. Well, I mean, just as much as San Francisco as Fisherman Wharf, Cable Car, Golden Gate Park, Cliff House.
Well, thank you very much for your opinion. There we have the Korean War, too, as an answer. Could we ask you a question? Are you embarrassed? You know you're being watched by people on television. May I ask you your name? Now, you see, when you look away, television, you know. May we talk to you, ma'am? It seems, for some reason, that people, merely when you ask them who they are very frightened. Could we stop you for just a moment and ask your name? All right. Could we talk to you?
I don't like that.
I beg your pardon? You're being watched right now on television.
We have one home.
I beg your pardon? I didn't hear that.
We have one home of television. Who am I going to see now?
You're going to see yourself.
Oh, no. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
I beg your
Well,
pardon?
what do you sell 'em?
We're not selling anything. I want to ask you what you think is the most important problem facing us today. May we ask you your name and your name? What is your name? But don't hide her because people are watching you on television. And your back, the back of your head is toward the television screen, right there.
Marilyn Merkley, and my mother is Merkley.
What do you think is the most important problem facing us today?
Well, right now, the Cal-USC football game.
There we have an answer for a change. Tell me, in your opinion, would you look over there so we can see? That's fine. What is your opinion as to the most important problem?
Well, right now, that's pretty near and dear to my heart, too.
Why?
Well, I'm an SC student.
Uh-huh. And are you a former SC student or why?
No, my husband happens to be, and we have followed them for a number of years through their games.
Would you care to predict the game?
I'm afraid to.
Thank you both very much for talking to us. Can we ask you your name? That's a very unusual name, but thank you very much.
Well, don't do that.
Could we ask you a question, sir? Come on up here. I beg your pardon?
On KPIX
Everything you
yesterday,
say, yes?
it said, I showed in the paper that KPIX would have those fights in St. Louis, Missouri, that Atkins and Rollins fight.
You know, people are watching you and listening to everything you're saying
they
right
are,
now.
huh?
Mhm. The fights are on Wednesday nights, that's correct. I want to ask you first your name.
Friedman, Henry Friedman.
In your opinion, what is the most important problem facing us today?
Well, I think the economic problem.
Economic?
Yes.
Well, based on what? Taxes going up or...
Taxes going up, yes. I don't see how some of the people can meet it.
Mm-hmm. And you feel that that is where we all feel it the most,
I
above
think
all
so,
other
above
things.
all other things, I think so. Myself, of course, naturally it's going to hit every class of people.
Surely.
Especially the people that make the lower brackets. It's going to hit them.
Do you have any solution?
Well, I think, I'll tell you what I think. I think we ought to change this whole administration and get through and put somebody else in there and will do some good. I think we're spending too much money. And when we ask for money for ourselves here, they won't allow it. They want to give it abroad to foreigners, and they say, okay. I say, look to home first.
I see. Well, thank you very much for your opinion, Mr. Friedman. Well, that, ladies and people. May we talk to you, ma'am?
What about?
Well, if you come right up here, we'll get into it, and we'll ask you all about it. We want to ask you first your name.
Mrs. Marion Frazell.
Well, now, don't look there. You look up there at
Oh,
those
I
people.
see.
That's fine. What, in your opinion, is the most important problem facing us today?
Well, I think the Korea situation.
Well, why do you think so?
Well, I think we should get our boys home.
Well,
I think we're just sending them over there and sending them over for what end?
So you feel that the problem is the Korean War, but it's a sort of a useless thing in your opinion?
Yes, I do.
What would you do to solve it?
Well, I would.
For your opinion? Sir, could we stop you just a moment? Don't be frightened. You're being watched on Gentlemen is a teletrip at the corner of Post and Grant in San Francisco, a typical San Francisco corner with a flower stand to decorate the scene. Our question has been, in your opinion, what is the most important problem facing us today? Principally, it was the Korean War. One answer was the economic situation, and another was the football game on Saturday. We hope you enjoyed this glimpse into opinions of people in San Francisco. Good night. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the San Francisco Police Department Communications Bureau, the nerve center where all communications are handled. We want you to meet the director of the Criminal Information, George Hipley. George, we want to talk to you about what goes on here. Tell you, why don't you come up here close to our television screens? People first get a look at you, and you come around here so they can watch you right over here. First of all, we want to know how many radio messages come in a day.
Well, there are average 1,000 messages and possibly...
1,000 every day.
1,000 every day. And on special occasions, it will go as high as 1,500 or 2,000.
Certainly keeps your men busy.
Yes, indeed.
Does the weather have anything to do with the amount of messages?
Well, yes, and the hours of the day regulate our traffic, too. That is in the on a rainy afternoon, usually between the hours of 4 and 6, when people are leaving for their homes for dinner.
They're anxious to get home.
They're anxious to get home, and they're inclined to speed in doing so, and the result is we have a lot of automobile accidents.
So after the normal business hours, you have more calls coming in.
Oh, yes.
Mostly what, automobile accidents?
Automobile accidents, and then it tapers off until around 8 o'clock in the evening, and the other time when people leave their homes again to go to shows, and we have the results of automobile accidents again.
How many, you call them squad cars, patrol cars?
Radio patrol cars.
Radio patrol cars. How many do we have in the city of San Francisco?
Well, we have approximately 85 cars that are equipped with receivers. That is, they can receive the messages, but they can't talk back to headquarters. Then there are some 64 that are equipped with two-way. That is, they talk back to headquarters, and we convey the message to them. Then we have some 85 motorcycles that are equipped with one-way radio. That is, they receive, but we contemplate installation of some two-way so that the officer can talk back to headquarters.
And each of these cars and motorcycles have certain areas they patrol.
Oh, yes, they're defined to a certain district. There are 9 police districts in the city, and the heavier districts, for instance, the northern, that embraces the territory for west of Leavenworth to Steiner, and from Market Street to the Bay, heavily populated area, and we have 5 cars rolling there at all times.
All right, let's find out what some of this material is that we notice here in the background. If this is too small for your television screens, bear with us, we'll be right back. What are these teletypes, for example?
This teletype machine you see here is the state teletype.
That connects all the other...
That connects with every station in the state. We have here a map of the state of California. On there you notice there are green buttons.
Well, it's pretty hard to see on a television screen. It's a map, as you know, and then it's marked with buttons.
Each one of those points we can contact, or we can call for an all-points hookup, and we contact them all simultaneously.
So if
everybody gets the message.
If I steal $10 and I say, well, I'm going to head for the Mexican border, by the time I hit San Diego, they know all about it.
We'll head you off possibly at San Diego, or if you start east, we can get you at Yuma, Arizona. If you cross the line and go into Nevada, we can get you at either Reno or Sparks or Las Vegas.
Oh, I won't try it. I'll
So
make it
we
on
have pretty fair coverage there,
Fine.
blocking the...
What are these men doing? There are other teletypes here. I know they're very small on your screens, but...
This machine is simply a standby for our district stations. This teletype machine...
We're in the way of it. That's swell.
This machine hooks into the 9 police districts and various bureaus in this building. And it's simply for the transmission of orders, that is, missing persons, stolen automobiles, and any orders for the company commander for details. That is, detailing officers at football games and all that sort of thing that go out in a rush, more or less, are transmitted on that machine.
Can we see the radio set up now? I think most of you are familiar with the police calls that come in. And why don't you head in there first in this little section in here. And this is the radio announce booth, it looks like to me. There are 2 men here, as you possibly see on your screens. They are your radio announcers, is that right?
That's right. They're called dispatchers, and we have dual transmitters so that either man, when one of them is busy, why, he gets the other transmitter to work with.
And they get the calls from all the radio patrol cars.
That's right.
And in turn dispatch, I suppose, radio messages from telephone information.
That's right. Comes in from our switchboard, which is located in the other room here, and it's transmitted over 3 lines that we have connecting the switchboard, and they in turn go on the air here and give the message to the car.
I noticed one thing here. It says Probably hard for you to read there on your screen. It says bank and burglar alarms. Is this whole panel connected to, say, banks or...
That panel is connected with the branch banks, particularly in the main office at that. And the minute that alarm hits...
Oh, we're going to hear one go off now?
Oh, yes. Comes in under that buzzer, and there's a pilot light that goes on at the same time. The minute the dispatcher hears that buzzer and sees the light, locates the places where the alarm is originating by this card here, and he dispatches 2 radio cards.
2 every time?
2 every time.
Could we interrupt the man talking just for a second?
No?
Okay. First, we want to find out your name and how long you've been doing this sort of thing.
Well, I'm Officer Ludlow, and I've only been here a short time, about 4 months, 5 months.
Could we ask you your age? You look pretty young.
I'm 25 years old.
Have you ever had a great desire to be an announcer on a regular radio station?
Oh, no, no great desire.
Well, you know, you're probably one of the most listened to personalities, even though it's on the radio hookup for the police only. I imagine the boys know you pretty well by your voice.
Yeah, well, they get acquainted with us by our voice. Each of us have different voices, sound different over the air. They know us personally, of course. I've worked out in the district stations, and I know most of the fellows out there. Member of the clubs and radio cars.
Well, we want to interrupt you. We're going to talk to you, and your face will just about fill the screen. You look right there.
Okay, fine.
What is your name?
My name is Officer O'Neill.
We're going to sneak over here so people can look at you. That's
Okay,
better.
fine.
Officer O'Neill, how long have you been doing this?
Well, this is my first day.
Your first day?
That's right, yeah.
Well, welcome aboard. You like it?
Well, it's interesting. It's very interesting work.
You got it all fairly well mastered?
Well, I haven't mastered yet, but I'm getting there. I'm doing fairly well.
You have a family?
Yes, I do. I have a wife and a young daughter who's 3 months old.
They ever hear you on the air?
No, they never have, no.
You probably will one of these days, huh?
Possibly, yes.
Well, okay, fine. Now, is this set up just for the San Francisco area?
We monitor the Bay Counties. We monitor Redwood City and the Oakland Police, San Rafael. We do most of our broadcasting for San Mateo County through the Redwood City station, and they in turn transmit anything they have through their radio to us.
Now, while we were speaking, there was noise that, I guess, was somebody talking. What is it all about? Do they have coded messages come in?
Oh, yes, we use nothing but code, and that's for the sake of brevity, that it doesn't tie up the air too long. A man come in with any lengthy message is required to go to a police signal box and transmit by telephone rather than tie up the air any length of time.
Tell me this, do you get any strange calls? I know you must. Do people wonder about certain things that happen in the area here and call the police department?
Well, we had, about a year ago, the Martinez refineries. The wind had changed to the north and blew all their fumes into San Francisco, and we had, the result was that we had calls from as far south as Redwood City, wanting to know what we were doing in San Francisco.
Well, thank you very much for that story. Mission 1, you can add something to that?
No, that was about all, but it flooded our telephone switchboard so that we went out of business for a little while.
Well, thanks very much. You've just been listening to George Hipley, who's the Director of Criminal Information here. We've brought you this teletrip from the Communications Bureau from the Hall of Justice in San Francisco. We'll see you again next week on Teletrip. Good night.